Your thoughts on the acquisition of Zack Kassian?
Well, there's a lot of stories attached to this trade. Zach's got a checkered past with substance abuse, but it was something that on two levels we wanted to kind of address. One was to kind of get our goalie pecking order in place, which this allows us to do with bringing back Lorkainen from Finland, but it also, Cassian's a type of player that would help us in his prime and when he's playing. So there's risks attached with it. I talked with Zach over the course of a few days over Christmas, and I talked with the doctors in the program, and I felt satisfied. Assuming and knowing that there will be risk attached, I felt satisfied with completing this transaction. And frankly, the one thing that Zach said to me is, like, I could promise you things, but I'm going to have to show them. So show you these things. So that was a pretty telling comment. And he's got a few obstacles to overcome before if he ever gets to this level. So it was something that allowed us to address a couple of things, and we were able to finish it off there early this morning.
Jerry Fleming is going to work with him in Bakersfield, and that's where it starts. So he's going to have. I mean, Jerry can kind of relate to Zach on a couple different levels, can he?
Yeah, and Jerry's looking forward to working with him. Jerry's part of his hockey portfolio is part of Zach's hockey portfolio. So that's where he'll start, and we'll get him there. We'll get him up and running, and the rest is up to him.
How far? I mean, after spending a certain amount of time in the program, not playing the game, what's your sense of how far he has to go just to be, get himself in shape and be ready to compete at even that level?
Well, he's been skating for 3 weeks, and part of what was explained to me in the program is that they want to get them leaving the program obviously in good condition, mental and physical condition, but from the conditioning perspective, they want to get them in great shape. So I've been told he's in terrific shape. Now, terrific shape skating with a skating coach versus playing in that is different. So I don't know. I would suspect he'd be ready to play some games, if not all, maybe one game or something this weekend. So I'm not sure though.
The homework is obviously about getting a sense for the rehabilitation and how he's doing now. But did you do homework just in terms of who this player is when he's in the dressing room? What kind of an impact or what kind of a personality he can have in the room? From his past
that was done.
What was your sense of that?
It was fine.
Did you feel you needed?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like
just the guy he is in the room, aside from all this other
well,
stuff.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I mean, there's risks associated with this on a number of levels, but that's stuff I was satisfied with.
Did you feel you needed a bigger body in your? Theoretically, if he can come back and he can play on your third liner, did you figure you needed somebody of that size?
I just, I think it just complements our team to have bigger bodies that can lean on guys and can wear D down, and like we're a rush team right now. I'd like a little more cycle component in our game, and I think it's a more durable type of component to have for winning in the long run, to have that type of game too. And so he's that type of player. He can cycle pucks. He's got skill that he can make plays off a cycle, and he can lean on D.
Are you helping Ben out too? Because remember when you sent him down, you said your quote was he won't spend all his time in the American League. It was almost like you're going to try to trade him whenever.
Yeah, well, and he helped us out by going on a good streak and playing well. And it was, I said earlier about some housekeeping with goaltending. It was hard for him to get the net when you want to develop Bourgeois and Lorkainen.
To what extent? What kind of leash does Zach have with the Oilers? Like everybody says, you come with a clean slate, you start all over, but he has a bit of a history. Is it a one strike and you're out, zero tolerance thing?
Well, basically, yeah, and that's what the program dictates too. So he's got to show us, and if he doesn't, that'll be it.
His contract is up at the end of the year, so it's up to you to decide.
He should be highly motivated, and again, he's he's had issues, and he's been in the program for reasons. But here's a chance for him.
Peter, where are you at, just from the standpoint of the teams within striking distance of a playoff spot, and you maybe could make moves to try and improve the group versus letting it play out here as we approach the trade deadline and not moving assets, that sort of thing?
I haven't gone to that level yet. If you're saying selling versus buying, like I mean, that's always something that as a manager you keep in the back of your mind. But I'm not at either yet. We obviously have players that would be assets to other teams, but in this division, I mean, anything can happen. So I mean, certainly we'll play it. We'll let it play out, and like we get 2 points instead of 1 on this road trip. I mean, like we're 2 points out of a playoff spot. So it'll we'll see how that goes. But I'm not at that level yet. Again, it's getting close to the deadline. Not close. It's a couple of months, but certainly it's part of my thought process. But it's not on the front burners.
You look at your defensemen and say, geez, I'd like to help them out by getting a more experienced defenseman, but like I said, there's hardly any trades to be made. So in this league, I mean, you got some young guys playing lots of minutes, and then other guys are, struggling.
Well, right now we're missing 2 defensemen that have been contributing to our group. So you have to be careful to judge your group. I know we had some disappointing performances from some D-men. I'd like a little more possession from our D-men. So, if your question is, am I looking to add an experienced defenseman? I'm not going to answer that. What I can tell you is that I'd like to improve my defensive core, our defensive core, and part of that improvement will come from getting everyone healthy back in the mix, and then making judgments based on that. So, and we've got we got a kid like Griffin Reinhardt who's I'd like to have up here playing. He's starting to his game's been quite good down there, so we've got some pieces in place. It's just to get them all here at once is part of my goal.